Rias Gremory. Just another harem main female character, right? I think not. Throughout the harem genre, we see a lot of female main characters and male main characters portrayed with certain cliches. But Rias Gremory wouldn't be one of those characters, nor would Issei be. But we're not talking about him this time. This time we're going to be zeroing in on one of the most likable female characters in the anime harem genre. Not only is Rias Gremory's hair beautiful as Issei states, her characterization is as well. Rias Gremory isn't just another female MC in the harem genre. She's a character with internal struggles, decision-making skills, and most importantly, is realistic. The way Rias is portrayed throughout the High School DxD anime demonstrates just how well her character was placed within the story. In High School DxD, Rias is actually a character who bears the weight of the whole occult research club and is to blame for all of Issei's character development. Believe it or not, Rias is actually why Issei is so likable. Without Rias in Issei's life, we would have never been able to find out that Issei isn't just another pervert harem main character. Instead, with Rias being in the picture, we see how her character is the catalyst for Issei's realistic emotions throughout the entire story. This is showcased throughout the entire storyline of High School DxD by having Rias and Issei constantly fleshing each other's genuine personalities out. Instead of formality, you can notice as the show goes on, Issei refers to Rias as president less and less, and after Issei joined the Occult Research Club, you'll notice Rias' use of the term servants becomes less and less. These two characters play off of one another, and not just in a fan service type way. If you actually take a step back and remember in Season 2, just before Zenobia joins the Occult Research Club, she states that she now understands why the other girls are so attracted to Issei. They like him for him. They like him for also putting his friends in the Occult Research Club first and always throwing himself on the sword, so to speak, for them. Rias' character also always approaches Issei in a mature manner. Even during the more adult-esque moments, Rias takes the approach, the straightforward one, and if you notice, Issei starts to take a more adult-esque approach with all the girls. Whether it be when they all move into the mansion, in the scene where Issei is talking to Akano in the kitchen, or even the scene where they're in the bedroom and he turns Akano down. Or when Zenobia gives Issei a kiss on the cheek. These are moments that we wouldn't have got back in High School DxD Season 3 if it wasn't for Rias. And why is this rant about Issei so important? Because it all plays back to Rias. Rias Gremory is a character that Issei plays through. His motivation, his actions, and his integrity are all developed by her because of her approach with Issei. She literally is the driving force for Issei's character development in so many different ways. But Rias isn't just a great character for her indirect and or subtextual ways of developing Issei and giving herself characterization. She's a great character because at the end of the day, she is the main protagonist of High School DxD in a sense. Let me explain before you react. When I say Rias is the main protagonist in the story, I say that because at the end of the day, Rias is the one making all of the choices, and literally is the reason for all of the fights that Issei is able to shine in, because she's the one that picks and chooses the Occult Research Club's battles and when not to fight. She's the commander of the main cast, and she's good at being one. The way Rias actually controls her pieces and chooses who fights and when and why is awesome to see and adds depth to her character's way of thinking. Taking a look at Season 4's tournament arc as a prime example of what I mean. You could also take a look at Season 1 of High School DxD and refer back to the rating game against Riser as another example of this. But also, to a less important degree, Rias is a character that simply stands on her own 2 feet. As much as she is mentally and or physically dependent of Issei, sometimes she's still a main female lead that wasn't written to always be the damsel in distress. She's a character that will damn well try to win her own fights, as seen in Season 2 when fighting one of the rogue fallen angels that are attacking the school. And quite frankly, as sad as it is to see Rias struggle in her battle, it still showcases some sort of independence, which is more than what we typically see from 99% of other harem series. And this would help explain why High School DxD is better than your average harem series. When looking at Rias Gremory in High School DxD, you could say Rias is this show in a lot of ways. It's not always about the depth of writing of a character per se, but how you use them. If you know how to balance a character's persona off of the other characters around them, then most likely you'll be able to build your characters through character chemistry alone. And that makes sense. We as people, as we begin to get closer to one another, find out more and more about each other through natural, genuine conversation, and High School DxD doesn't just do that with Rias' character, but some of the others as well, but maybe not as good as they do with Rias. Rias is a king in High School DxD. At least, that's the label and title they gave her. But when you really look at it, I believe Rias isn't a king piece at all. I believe she's a queen piece. Not in the High School DxD world either, but rather the queen of the harem genre itself. And Rias Gremory, she's always been the harem genre's queen. It's always been her. And it always will be. Forever.